My name is Logan Hobbs, and I'm here with ETV at Central. This is Mrs. Eugene, our new principal here at Central High School. She wants students to get to know her better. I would start with the question, what first got you into education?
Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Eugene. I am so excited to be here. It's been so great to get to know and meet many of you over the past couple of weeks, right? It's only the second month of school, so whether it's been out front, during dismissal, in the cafeteria, on merit, in your classrooms, because I've already been to 70 classrooms, it has been a phenomenal experience being here. One kind of draw that's led me to education is, to be quite honest with you, I didn't have a good experience growing up in school. I was a decent student, I did well, I kind of fell through the cracks. I was a student that, I got mid-80s, as long as I did well, everybody was okay. The school didn't necessarily push me, and I just knew that students could have a better experience. Actually, let me clarify that. I had a fantastic experience in middle school, but my high school experience was, I'm not even gonna say what high school I went to. None of y'all know, maybe some of your parents went to it if they're from Brooklyn. High school experience was very subpar. There were a lot of issues around race, quite frankly. In my high school, there was a lot of issues around equity. I can't necessarily say that I thought all the teachers were dedicated. It kind of was just like a factory to get kids in and out. And I never wanted a student to ever feel the way I felt in high school. And I figured, as opposed to just kind of like burying that feeling and just moving on with my life, I decided to do something about it. So that's why I got into education.
So you would say that the struggles you faced in high school, especially with administration, the general environment, is what encouraged you to go into education?
Absolutely. I think that's important for students to have a space where they have high expectations, but also can feel that their needs are, and they're kind of like want to be met. And there's a space for them to be able to give feedback, because you are the reason why we're here. Every single staff member is here to make sure that you kind of reach your potential. So I wanted to be a part of a system and a school that embraces those values.
So you've given us a lot about how your high school experience was. How was your first impression of Central coming through the doors?
Let me be honest with you. So from the first time I came to Central, which was actually for the interview, I had like this weird premonition. I was like, this is my home. I didn't have a job. I'm coming from Brooklyn. I had a whole other school that I love dearly. Because my old school see this, I love y'all too, but I'm here. And it was, from the interview, the students that I met during the interview, but even when I was just coming into school for the first time, it has been warm, it's been welcoming. Students have asked me, I think felt comfortable to ask me questions about who am I, where am I from, and the same as a teacher, they really want to make sure that the values and the integrity of Central remain under my leadership, in conjunction and with help with everybody else. So it's been phenomenal. It hasn't been smooth sailing. There's always things, there's a school, stuff happens, but it's been one where it's been really collaborative, and I feel like I'm welcome here, and I thank everybody for that.
And from that, what would you say you want to do with Central in the future after your first impressions? You said it is very good. But what would you change? What do you plan to do as principal?
Yes, so that's a tricky question. If you state plans, you gotta follow through on them. I can't make any promises because I'm not the one that controls the money. But some of the thoughts that we're thinking about, and that myself, and it's not just me alone, it's myself, other staff members, and actually one of these initiatives involves students as well. One of our first initiatives is around the beautification committee. We, through a lot of the equity work that the school and the district is doing, we recognize one area that can be amplified here at Central is making sure that students feel seen and heard through not only their classrooms but in the school building. So for instance, if we take the area by the gym, it's lovely, those plaques are nice, right? But I'm sure that there's no plaque there that you can relate to. We've had such amazing student athletes that's come from, recently through Central, and how do we show the great work that all of our current sports teams are doing. The hallways, they feel nice, but they could feel better. The white, can give a little bit of a kind of a neutral kind of feeling. So what are some things that we can do to make the hallways feel warm? The banners, the banners are slightly outdated. We have Aristotle up there. We have FDR, or maybe Theodore Roosevelt might be up there. How do we create images and like quotes throughout the hallways that are more current, more relevant? And then how do we have like bulletin boards and spaces where, I mean, the fantastic work that's being done from the performing arts department, the culinary, the CTE, you know, all the AP courses, I mean, everyone across the board should see some place in Central where they connect to. And also clubs. We have so many clubs, but they kind of happen in silo, and then we don't always get a chance to celebrate each other. So that's some of the things that we're thinking about. Also, you know, increasing the number of trips that happen here at Central, expanding the AP program. There's so many students that participate in AP classes, but we can increase that number. I can go on and on, but I don't want to sell food dreams. So, and through all of the initiatives, I'm gonna send this out shortly. We're thinking of sending out a survey because I want to hear from all the students. Like, what has your experience been like? It's gonna be really short. I'll send it through Teams. But what are some things that you're also thinking about as well that you would like to see? I heard the seniors kind of want a different senior trip. Juniors want to dance. Everybody wants something different. So, what can be done in the short term, but also the long term to improve the student experience here at Central, but maintain high expectations and really rigorous instruction?
I would sure like to see a lot more polls. It's something we at ETV have toyed with doing ourselves on our Teams page, so we'd love to see them school-wide. You seem, as a principal, to have a lot on your plate. You seem to be taking it in stride, and you bring a lot of compassion.
I think honestly it's because I'm a new principal here, but I'm not a new principal. I have a little bit of experience. Yeah.
I was going to say, before this ends, you've said a lot, of course, already, but is there any message that you want to end off of? Any reassurance you want to give to the students of Central, or maybe even speak about Dr. Pompilio, your predecessor?
Yeah, so I've had the chance to meet with Dr. Pompilio quite a few times before he officially retired. I don't think that I or the staff could have had a somewhat, I wouldn't say seamless transition, but a successful transition without his leadership, his guidance. I try to think, you know, what would Dr. Pompilio do? I always ask before we even think about something new, what has been what has existed. I don't always think that you should fix something if it's not broke, but we can definitely tweak and improve. And that's the premise that I'm starting with. So, you know, even though, you know, I look different than Dr. Pompilio, I share some of the same values, a lot of the same values, and I recognize and I honor the legacy and the just immense groundwork that he's done. To be a principal of a school for 21 years is not, you know, not an easy feat, and you know, I think everyone here can thank him in some way. If you're a Central student, employee, staff member, myself, we all can thank Dr. Pompilio. So if he does see this, thank you. And what was your second question? Oh, anything else I want to say? You know, I look forward to everyone's feedback, and I thank everyone for doing the right thing, even if, you know, you don't think you're being seen, whether you're on merit, whether in your classes. We're always watching, and know that if anything ever arises, you're unsure, you need support, while we want to make sure that you maintain high grades, there's always a space for you to be able to speak to someone in order to receive any kind of support that you need. And that doesn't mean that something's going wrong. You might want to show, you know, a staff member something that's, you know, that you did well in. It also could be, you know, you could be having struggles at home. I'm a mom, I have a teenager, so I live this every day. And I often encourage her to go speak to somebody at her school too. So from, you know, reaching out to your teachers, counselors, wellness center, pull me in the hallway, you know that this is not only a place where academics are paramount, but also we care about you as an individual.
I can say we at ETV ourselves have a lot to owe to Mr. Pompilio and how much dedication he had to the program. It's very important for us to, of course, look to our past, and I'm glad you're taking a lot of consideration to the precedents he set before making changes in the future. It's a very important part of leadership. It was very nice meeting you, Mrs. Hugie. This interview was very stimulating, to say the least. And I hope we could see you on ETV in the future, of course.
Absolutely. Thank you for this fireside chat, and I hope that you do more of them with other staff members.